Scenes of disorder on the streets of Manchester have shocked the nation and reignited one of the most divisive debates in modern British politics. What unfolded this weekend was not just a clash between protesters, it was a flashpoint that exposed deep fractures running through the heart of British society. Thousands gathered in Manchester city centre for a rally centered around demands for stricter border controls and tougher immigration enforcement. Organizers described it as a peaceful demonstration by citizens concerned about national identity and public safety. However, what began as an organized march quickly descended into serious public disorder. Counter-protesters, many wearing masks, arrived in significant numbers and positioned themselves in direct opposition to the march. Witness accounts and video footage show confrontations breaking out between the two groups. Some demonstrators allege that counter-protesters initiated physical aggression, including claims that national flags were forcibly taken from marchers. These allegations have not been independently verified, and police have not yet assigned specific blame to either side. Greater Manchester Police deployed significant resources, including mounted officers, in an attempt to manage the growing disorder. The decision to use cavalry units in a densely packed urban environment drew immediate criticism from multiple observers, who questioned whether it was a proportionate and safe tactical response. Police commanders have defended the decision, stating officers faced an increasingly volatile situation that required urgent crowd management. By late afternoon, a Section 35 dispersal order was issued across the city center, a legal power granted under the Anti-Social Behavior, Crime, and Policing Act 2014. The order gave officers authority to direct individuals to leave a designated area. Critics of the order, including some civil liberties groups, have raised concerns that such sweeping powers risk infringing on the lawful right to peaceful assembly. Police maintain the order was a necessary and lawful response to prevent further violence. Arrests were made on the day, though full figures and the specific circumstances of each arrest have not yet been released. Some attendees of the original march have claimed, without verified evidence, that enforcement appeared heavier against their group than against counter-protesters. Greater Manchester Police have stated that all arrests were made on the basis of individual behavior, and that the force polices all groups equally under the law. The Independent Office for Police Conduct has been made aware of the events. The deeper context behind these scenes is important to understand. Immigration and border policy have become central and deeply contested issues in UK politics. Figures within Reform UK and other right-leaning movements have argued for years that successive governments have failed to adequately control immigration and that communities are bearing social and economic consequences that are not being honestly addressed by the political mainstream. Critics of that position argue that anti-immigration rhetoric has increasingly been used to scapegoat minority communities, and that events like these demonstrations risk inciting racial and religious hatred. Both perspectives have significant public support, and the tension between them is unlikely to be resolved without serious, evidence-based national debate. The economic pressures facing working-class communities across the UK are real and well-documented. Underfunded public services, a housing crisis, and stagnant wages have created genuine grievances that political leaders across the spectrum have struggled to adequately address. Some analysts argue that when legitimate concerns go unheard through conventional political channels, they find expression through street-level protest and sometimes disorder. What happened in Manchester is not simply a law and order story. It is a reflection of a society under significant strain politically, economically, and culturally. The question of how a democratic government balances free expression, public safety, and social cohesion has never been more urgent. What is clear is that the divisions on display in Manchester did not emerge overnight. They have been building for years. And without honest, serious, and inclusive national conversation about the root causes of this unrest, the scenes witnessed this weekend are unlikely to be the last.